Hi, I'm Danny Gibbs, Director of Right-of-Way Acquisition for Spectra Energy's U.S. projects. On behalf of our employees and all those who've worked through the years to make Spectra an industry leader, let me say thank you in advance for spending some time with me today. I want to brief you on and help you better understand 8 common sense principles that form the basis for our interactions with landowners and others along our rights-of-way. I'm proud that Spectra helped draft these principles for our industry, and I can assure you that we do embrace them. We know that these are tried and true ways to build and maintain strong, positive relationships with landowners and other stakeholders. As you work to pave the way for our energy infrastructure expansion efforts, please understand that for about 100 years our employees and representatives have worked diligently to build a reputation as a good neighbor to the landowners that we interact with. It is my expectation that you do your best to solidify or even enhance that reputation. At Spectra, we're in the business of transporting and storing large volumes of natural gas, a fuel that continues to grow in popularity because of its cleaner burning characteristics and domestic availability. In these early years of the 21st century, there's a worldwide push to utilize more environmentally friendly fuels, and as a result of that and other factors, demand for natural gas is on the rise. Companies like Spectra Energy have entered into an almost unprecedented time of pipeline and storage expansion work. Consequently, we're interacting with many new landowners as we acquire the easements and properties that will form the pathways for these new facilities. With all this industry activity and attention being placed on our work, we've got to be more effective in our communications and our overall approach to landowner relations. You play a very important role in our ability to undertake and complete these projects. Whether you realize it or not, when you're working on one of our projects, you're an ambassador for Spectra Energy and the entire energy industry. I encourage you to learn all you can about natural gas and pipelines and pass that knowledge along to those that you meet. You are a critical link in an industry that provides a very valuable service to this country. America is a nation that requires a tremendous amount of energy. Roughly 1/4 of America's daily energy needs are met by natural gas. Not only are fossil fuels like natural gas a building block for the chemical industry in the development of things such as plastics and fertilizer, but each and every day Americans use on average more than 60 billion cubic feet of natural gas to heat homes, dry clothes, prepare meals, and manufacture consumer products that enhance our lifestyles. In recent years, Americans consumed some 22 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. To give you some perspective about how much fuel that is, 1 trillion cubic feet of natural gas is enough to heat 1 million average homes for 15 years. In addition, natural gas has become increasingly valued in recent years because almost all of the electric power generation capacity that has been built in the U.S. is natural gas fired. So there is clearly a connection between this and this. While all that's fine and dandy, the truth is without a transportation system, natural gas wouldn't be widely used. If you're familiar with the old television show Star Trek, they utilized something called a teleporter to magically move matter from one location to another. To my knowledge, nothing like that exists in real life. Since natural gas is only found and produced in certain parts of North America and other parts of the world, we have to rely upon a transportation system to move this valuable energy source from its underground point of origin to end users. That's where large diameter steel pipelines like those owned and operated or proposed by Spectra Energy come into play. While there are some who might oppose pipeline projects, I can say with great confidence that there is no finer transportation system in the world than the interstate natural gas pipeline grid. That grid is currently made up of about 300,000 miles of pipe. Alternatives to this system are few. Just imagine how many more tanker trucks would be on our highways if interstate natural gas pipelines didn't exist. These are incredibly engineered, high-strength facilities that have proven to be very reliable over many decades. Having spent almost all my life in Texas, I appreciate the service that pipelines provide and the role that they play in making life better. And yes, my family and I happen to live in very close proximity to a high-pressure pipeline and I feel very comfortable doing so. With some 20 years in this industry, I understand the care that responsible operators take to design, construct, and maintain these major energy transportation systems. Back in the mid-60s, a janitor at NASA was interviewed for a TV program. When asked what he did for the space agency, he proudly replied, "I'm helping put a man on the moon." Similarly, when you are doing your job, I hope you don't just think you're interacting with landowners or researching titles. Actually, you're helping fuel a nation and you're impacting millions of Americans. Keep that in the back of your head the next time someone asks you what you do. With that, let's look at the 8 principles that you should have in hand at this point. If you don't, please retrieve them now. Number 1, respect and trust. Positive, lasting relationships are built on mutual respect and trust. We strive to understand issues from the landowner's perspective and help them understand ours. Spectra's approach to landowner relations focuses on an unwavering respect for those who live or own property along our pipeline systems. We strive to earn this respect through regular and ongoing communications with the goal of having those iterative interactions build relationships and trust. Spectra provides all project members with survey and safety training. A large component of that training is the expectation that we recognize that we're guests on landowners' property. Number 2, accurate and timely information. Agents will communicate with landowners in a timely manner, including providing accurate information regarding the importance of energy infrastructure, the reason and need for the proposed project, and the opportunities for landowner participation in the project review process. Agents will be trained to have a solid working knowledge of the processes in place governing easement acquisition, project certification, construction, operation and maintenance of our facilities, and any other particulars of the project. On all new construction projects, Spectra hosts project orientation sessions for land agents and others who will engage landowners on our behalf. We expect our staff to be well-versed on natural gas basics and project specifics to better foster communication with landowners and other stakeholders. Ongoing communication allows us to gain information that helps us make refinements in such a way to find balance between the company's needs and the landowner's present and future use of the property. Project participants are trained on roles and responsibilities and exposed to project information and relative timelines. Number 3, negotiate in good faith. We will listen and strive to understand and negotiate in good faith. We will make every attempt to reach agreement with landowners in an honest, fair, and reasonable fashion. Spectra agents are instructed to actively listen to landowners and to develop solutions that are mutually agreeable. When appropriate, we use qualified appraisers to assist in developing fair market value for easement interest to be acquired. We strive to reach settlements that are reasonable and fair. Number 4, disclosure of regulatory requirements. Final approval for a project is not a certainty, and our interactions with landowners will reflect that understanding. Prior to a Federal Energy Regulatory Commission decision, actions taken to negotiate easements or options are at the company's risk, as there is no guarantee the project will be approved. Spectra attempts to keep landowners informed of regulatory approval status and other project milestones through ongoing communication across the project lifespan. We are working to develop clearer written communications that can be used to educate landowners and be left behind for reference around the financial risks that a company undertakes in advance of certificate receipt. Number 5, eminent domain. We will communicate clearly that federal eminent domain cannot be exercised unless a certificate is granted by the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, and will distinguish clearly when and if eminent domain is exercised pursuant to state law. We begin every easement negotiation with expectations that mutual agreement can be reached and eminent domain rights will not need to be exercised. Spectra understands the need for eminent domain rights and appreciates its availability to us as a last means to further projects that are in the public interest. Therefore, we will not abuse that right. Our agents are instructed to never use eminent domain threats as a means of moving a landowner into finalizing a negotiation. Number 6, responding to issues. We will respond to landowner concerns in a manner that is timely and with information that is on point. To enhance direct communications and timely responses, landowners will be provided with project-specific hotline numbers and points of contact within the company. Agents will endeavor to respond to landowner inquiries within 3 business days or will provide a projected response date and follow up with a reply. Companies will develop a process to respond to landowners who require significant company or agent attention. Spectra establishes around-the-clock project landowner hotlines to allow callers to advise us of any project or construction-related issue. We have a 24-hour policy on responding to all landowner calls to our established landowner hotlines. Additionally, our agents are instructed to be available through direct contact anytime a landowner has questions or concerns. Number 7, outreach. Our training will discuss Spectra's efforts to promote awareness on the part of affected stakeholders early in the planning process. In broadening public outreach, agents will play a part in developing relationships with and introducing our industry to those who might not have otherwise known about the project's benefits to the community and the company's dedication to providing natural gas transportation services safely. Spectra recognizes there likely will be some opposition to infrastructure projects such as those that we strive to construct. We also recognize there is room for improvement in our outreach approach, and we are committed to making those improvements. Our outreach efforts begin with identification of all landowners, public officials, and responsible agencies in the project area. We strive to engage these stakeholders early and often to garner valuable input throughout the project or lifespan of the facility. To facilitate education of our stakeholders, since 2006, Spectra has produced video shows that overview pipeline construction, operation, and safety, as well as environmental compliance steps taken during project construction. Number 8, industry ambassadors. Each company agent is an ambassador for the industry. Our training will ensure our agents interact with stakeholders in accordance to these principles. At Spectra, we stress that we are ambassadors not only for our company, but for an entire industry. As such, we should do our best to help the public better understand the importance of energy infrastructure and the process required to get that infrastructure built. In 2006, Spectra developed a new ambassador training program for our operations and project representatives as a means of empowering and encouraging them to proactively tell the good story of energy and energy infrastructure. The training emphasizes listening to and working with our landowners to better understand things from their perspective and respectfully communicating with them so that they better understand ours. At Spectra Energy, we believe in continuous improvement in all aspects of our business. With the demand for natural gas increasing and many new people entering the industry, we will strive to train our employees and agents to interact positively and productively with landowners and other stakeholders. Thank you again for your time. I trust that you now have a better understanding of Spectra Energy's expectations of you as someone assigned to our projects. You'll be asked to sign a document indicating you viewed this video and understand the content. Please let your supervisor know if you have any questions.